Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished honored guests. Warning, this speech is filled with sappy, sugary Christmas time feels. Side effects may include felicity, smiling, nostalgia, and increased happiness and joy. So let's go back to this particular time, this particular moment, 1993. Where were you in 1993 Christmas time? Me, I was a student at the University of Cincinnati, just wrapped up fall quarter, and I needed something to earn some money because I had bills coming due, and the Salvation Army needed bell ringers. Have you ever seen the Salvation Army bell ringers outside of the store ringing their bell? They got the red kettle there taking your donations. Used to be that you'd come in with your change from your grocery bill and you drop that into the kettle. I don't know how it works today, but that's how it worked back in 1993. And so I got to wear the uniform, which is nothing like what I look like tonight. Dark black slacks, black sweater, black coat, and I got the bell. So for the 2 weeks before Christmas and Christmas Eve, I had that job, and I would be standing outside of, actually what I would do is I would arrive downtown at the Central Parkway office. We'd all pile into a van, and then the major would drop us off at the different Krogers. And then he'd come back later on to pick us up after our shift. And so there I was, standing outside for hours in the cold, ringing a bell. Just ringing a bell. Ringing a bell. I mean, can anything be more tedious? Can you think of anything more tedious? Maybe watching paint dry, I don't know. But I saw others that were going into the van with me. They had musical instruments. They had sheet music, and I said, I played the alto saxophone in high school. I was pretty good at it. Do you guys got any sheet music? Is this something that I could do? They said, yes. So I did. I brought my saxophone. Now, this already speaks to a more general concept about my attitude toward work and about one's attitude toward work. At 23 years old, I had yet to realize a lot of things about myself, but one of them was that I am so much more than my work. Number two is that what I provide is so much more than just a warm body, occupying space for a significant period of time to get paid. And number three is that I can actually spend my time improving the world around me using some of my gifts and talents. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "Sow of cheerfulness or a good temper, the more that it's spent, the more of it remains." Back to 1993 Christmas time, day after day, in the cold hours after cold hours, I would be playing my music. And a few things began to happen. I don't think that these were causal things, but a few things began to happen. One of them was Mrs. Tanaka. Mrs. Tanaka was the mother of two of my college friends. She actually worked for the University of Cincinnati and audited a class that I had to take for engineering called Basic Thermodynamics. Now, why somebody would do that, I don't know, but Mrs. Tanaka was remarkable, especially because she lived at Madeira, walked into the store, came out with a cup of hot chocolate and a cookie to give it to me as I was standing out there playing my saxophone, collecting donations. Another thing that started happening was I was having fun because I was playing Christmas songs and enjoying myself. And the more that I was enjoying myself, the more other people would come by and they'd drop things off into the donation kettle. But I'd go inside to warm up because it was really cold that year. And then sometimes the cashiers would ask me, "Can you play something inside the store?" And I said, "Okay, but I don't want to distract anybody from what they're doing." So I played something softly. But then it was the week before Christmas. Like this week. This is the week before Christmas. Have you been to Kroger? Lots of traffic, frenzied customers, cashiers. Everybody's stressed, except for me. because I was having a good time with what I was doing. I go inside one day and I got a request. Can you play "Oh Holy Night"? That was one of the songs that was in my book. Many of us have heard that song sung, and at the very end, there's this big crescendo, this very high note. I always think of Celine Dion. She's belting it out. And I'm looking at that note in the sheet music, and I'm thinking, can I hit that? But I had a request. So I decided that, I don't care how I look. I don't care how I sound. To quote another Christmas carol, I played my sax for them. I played my best for them. I wasn't caring about I was no longer self-conscious. And so I was there to encourage and to lift up, and maybe just to remind others that it's not about the stuff that you get, but about what you can give. And so I came to the end, and I took a deep breath, and I held that last note for as long as I could until I had no breath left in me. And then something remarkable happened. No. Something remarkable happened. Cashiers, baggers, front-end management, customers, applause. I can't tell you how many times even as I rehearsed this, I get emotional when I come to this particular moment, because that's never happened to me. But I went back outside, continued to do my thing, and then it was Christmas Eve. You know what Christmas Eve is? It's the 23rd of December. A photographer from the Enquirer shows up. What are you doing here? We're doing a story on how donations are down for the year. I reached out to the major at the Salvation Army, and I said, I want to find somebody who's exemplifying the Christmas spirit. He said, you got to go to the Madeira Kroger. How did he know that? Probably because the managers and staff called down to the Salvation Army and told them about who it was. So he took his photos, and I didn't think anything of it, because a lot of times this stuff ends up on the cutting room floor. That's how it happens. But Christmas Eve, on the front page of the Cincinnati Enquirer, right smack in the middle, everyone in Cincinnati, some of you, if you got the newspaper, there I was, right there. All for my family to see, people that I go to church with, other friends. Why did this happen? I think it's because I realized that to spread Christmas cheer to all far and near, I needed to see that it begins with me. Madam Toastmaster.